All right, welcome everyone. It's Carrie Salmons, and we are here together with our whole team, an amazing group of collaborating leaders. If you're from Colorado, California, Texas, North Carolina, Indiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Ohio, that's where I'm from. I'm coming to you here from Central Ohio. And we're just so glad you're here. And we have core leaders that are from all these different parts of the country that have participated in helping to create the whole focus for the month of February, which is a month all about nutrition. And so tonight is the official launch for the whole focus of the month, and we're calling it Power Up Your Nutrition. And we are really excited for this whole entire year of 2023. We're doing something fresh and new. We're freshening up our continuing ed. We have such amazing continuing ed series that we've been running over the last several years. And we've gotten up to 350 people on live on these Thursday nights. And so we were just ready to shake things up a little bit. And so we decided as a group of leaders to look at what doTERRA has planned for all of us for the whole year. They actually gave us a sneak peek at the Blue and Presidential Diamond Summit back in December, and they let us know what their quarterly and monthly focus is going to be for this whole year. So we decided that we wanted our team to kind of go right in line with what doTERRA is going to be doing. And so the whole first quarter, Q1, doTERRA is focusing on the first two rungs of the wellness pyramid, which is all about your nutrition and what you're putting in your body, your health and nutrition, and movement and metabolism. So the month of January, if you were plugging in, you know that doTERRA did a 30-day metabolic challenge with MetaPower. And so now we're kind of piggybacking right on that. And this month we're focusing all on nutrition. And so tonight, I'm really excited for you all to hear from my mom, Blue Diamond leader, Lori Vaas. She is what I call a nutrition guru. She is the first person that I went to many years ago when I was researching the doTERRA supplements and trying to decide if I wanted to switch from my prenatals to something a little bit more power packed. And my mom is a wealth of information. She's the one that all of us leaders nominated to teach tonight because we love learning from her. So I'm so glad you all get to hear from her. And then we're also going to get to hear from Kelli Parrish, who's one of her top leaders in her organization. And Kelli is a nurse practitioner and a health coach, and she has a wealth of information to share with us tonight as well. Mom, go ahead and click to the next screen.
Okay.
I'm getting so excited. I'm literally steaming up my glasses right over here, so I'm taking them off. But so I just want you all to see kind of a month at a glance. Like I said, we're doing something fresh and new and different this month with this whole focus on nutrition. So tonight is actually the only continuing ed class that we have planned for the month. And I want you to mark your calendars for every first Thursday of the month. For the rest of the year, we're going to be doing continuing ed at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time every first Thursday of the month. And that's going to kind of launch us with the focus and the intention of that month. And then each month, we're going to be drilling in a little bit deeper with whatever that focus is. So this month, it's all about nutrition. And so you can see right here on the screen, if you want to take a screenshot of that or jot this down in your notes, we have fun intentions and focuses planned for you each week. Next week is going to be all about powering up with water. We're going to have a week-long water drinking challenge. The following week is going to be powering up with lifelong vitality, or being more intentional with uptaking your fruit and veggie intake. And then the last week is going to be all about doing food journaling, so we can be more conscientious and accountable to what we're eating, what we're putting in our bodies. And then the very end of the month is going to be shifting into the power to move, which is going to be the focus in March. So I just wanted to cue that up for all of you. I hope that excites you for this new, fresh take on continuing ed. And now, without further ado, Mom, I'm going to pass the baton over to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Carrie. I'm excited about all this new focus too. And hi, everybody, and thanks for being here, and thanks for choosing to learn about getting healthy instead of watching Netflix tonight. So, yes, as she said, my name is Lori Vaas, and I've been with doTERRA for 13 years, and it has been my greatest joy to learn and teach about health and wellness throughout these last several years. I used to be a public school music teacher, so I love teaching. And now I'm a full-time doTERRA teacher. And so I guess I teach adult education instead of kids. I live in Columbus with my husband, and this is our whole family, our crazy family. We have 3 kids, and they all have 3 kids, and that's 17 now. And I'm so excited to be co-teaching this with Kelli Parrish, who is a nurse practitioner and health coach and a doTERRA Gold. She has a very holistic approach to medicine. She actually works in it's in a natural wellness center, Basal Family Medicine in Johnstown, Ohio. And so she sees adults, children, and families. In her free time, she enjoys yoga and hiking. She's a really outdoorsy girl. And she loves spending time with her husband, Chris, and their 3-year-old daughter. And so, yeah, she's an expert. I can't wait for you to hear. Kelli, you want to say hello?
Hey everyone, super excited to talk about my very favorite topic, nutrition.
All right, so this class is to help us power up our nutrition. And I love this wellness pyramid that doTERRA uses. Dr. Hill actually invented this years ago. But these are all the things that we can do to be proactive with our health. And this class starts with the foundation of the pyramid here, nutrition and digestion. Everybody I talk to knows that nutrition's like the most important thing for health, right? Most people tell me they know how to eat right, but actually doing it is the tricky part, right? In this world we inhabit. So I've been, as Carrie said, I've been passionate about nutrition for a long time because in my former life, I was a yo-yo dieter and I had very unhealthy eating habits. I was gaining weight. I couldn't figure out how to get it off. So I made the decision to find healthy food that I could love eating. And so that I would look at eating healthy food as treating myself instead of eating a donut or something. If I eat healthy, I'm treating myself. When I'm eating those things, I'm hurting myself. So I researched how I should be eating. I basically reinvented my health, dropped some weight in the process, but my goal was not to lose weight necessarily. It was to be healthy for life. So I'm excited to dive in here with you and with Kelli to share what we've learned. So 2 questions to ponder as we begin. First of all, number 1, why are so many people around us in this country so unhealthy? If everybody knows it's important to eat right, why are so many people still feeling lack of energy or brain fog and lack of mental clarity? They feel like they're in a slump. They feel sluggish, like they've lost their mojo, or stressed and anxious. There's just also a lot of people taking a lot of medications. So, and another thing to consider here is here in the United States, we have the highest budget for healthcare of all the developed countries. But among all the developing countries, we actually rank at the very bottom for health. So we have the highest budget, meaning we have the most money to take care of people properly. However, that's obviously not the answer, right? Because we're still ranking at the very bottom for disease. We're not well, and that's what I'm asking you to think about. Why are so many people in the US not well? So what's the solution? If you have some ideas, put that in the chat. Type your ideas in the chat. By the way, we are going to have some prizes at the end. I said that a little bit ago. So we're going to be picking from people that type in the chat. So here's something to remember. Everything we put in our body either feeds disease or fights disease. So in other words, everything we eat is either going to feed disease or fight disease, okay? My husband makes us smoothies lots of mornings. I make them sometimes too. And it has chia seeds and fiber and protein and almond milk and all kinds of good foods that are going to fight disease. They're going to fight inflammation. They're going to nourish my body, right? Now, he could bring me donuts, and I would like those, but that donut would actually feed disease in my body, right? It would encourage inflammation and disease. So disease feeds on sugar, so it's not what we should be putting into our body regularly. So this is the trick. It's making these healthy choices every day that nets us a healthy body, right? And often it's not as clear-cut a choice as this is. And I know it's confusing. Every time we turn around, we hear about some kind of food we shouldn't be eating nowadays, I think. It's enough to make you throw your head in the sand like an ostrich and say, enough already. But really, your health depends on you making healthy choices more often than you do unhealthy choices. And if you think of unhealthy choices as feeding disease, I think it makes it a lot easier to choose healthy, right? I know this is the single most difficult thing about getting good nutrition. So we have an expert here standing by to help make this easier for you. So Kelli Parrish is going to give you some tips how to navigate these waters. So go get your pen out and take notes from Kelli.
Thank you, Lori.
You're
So
welcome.
excited to be here with you guys today. And really, this truly is my favorite topic to talk about. I talk about it every day with my patients. I really feel like food is medicine. Food is the foundation for overall health. So super excited to share this with you. So gosh, my journey started probably about 10 years ago. I really wasn't thinking about the fact that food is medicine, and what I was putting in my body was actually giving me information and giving me energy, giving me focus. I really wasn't correlating those two things. At that time, I was kind of having a lot of bloating, a lot of stomach aches. I had a lot of headaches, some acne, and just finally started to realize that when I ate certain foods, those symptoms got worse. And when I ate other foods, those symptoms got better. So I started being a little bit more mindful about that, and started diving in deeper into some research. And that's kind of when my health started to turn around. And I really started realizing as a nurse at that point that food is so important to what's going on with me, as well as a lot of our chronic diseases. So I was very intrigued, and I still continue to do a lot of education on this piece and talk about it with my patients every single day. So food is medicine. Food gives us energy. Food helps us focus. Food helps us prevent illness. So my favorite prescription to write is food. And I talk about different types of diet plans all the time. So food is information. It can hurt us, like Lori said, or it can heal us. So we make that choice every single time we eat and every single time we take a drink of something. We're really giving our body information. So if we're eating all those fake, processed, fast foods, that can be making us sick. It can start some chronic diseases. But if we're eating more real, whole, unprocessed, anti-inflammatory foods, that can help us to heal. So that's what I talk about a lot, is making that switch for people. And people always start from somewhere, so we have to meet them where they are. I was in that same spot 10 years ago, and I had to make a choice and a decision, and I slowly made that transition over. And I really do think about everything that I put in my body each time I eat now. So I have a great example that just happened last week, actually, with one of my patients. She came to me a few months ago because she was just diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And she did not want to go on medication. She was very adamant that she would do anything that she could to not have to be put on insulin or medication. So she was able to change her diet, less carbs, less sugar, less processed foods, more real whole foods. And she added exercise. And those were literally the only two things that she did over a 3-month period of time, was change her diet and add exercise in. She came back to me a few weeks ago, and we rechecked her blood work. It's a hemoglobin A1C for those of you that have diabetes and are familiar with that, but it really is a test that looks at what your blood sugar is over a 3-month span of time. And she was out of that diabetes window just after 3 months of changing her diet and lifestyle. So it can happen. It is real. Just making some diet and lifestyle changes can be huge for not only type 2 diabetes, but heart disease, obesity, even like autoimmune conditions. I talk to a lot of my patients about changing their diet as well. So it's definitely doable. Next slide, please. So I eat a healthy diet. I don't need supplements. So this is a huge topic that is very controversial, but really, honestly, our food is not what it used to be. So the way that we manufacture and agriculturally grow food is different. So we're always trying to get the most bang for our buck, and our farmers are trying to get the biggest crops, the most crops as fast as they can to make money. So what's kind of happened over the last several years is that our soil, our irrigation, our harvesting methods have all caused our food to not be near as nutritious as it used to be. So like our grandparents and our great grandparents had more nutritious food than we do. So it's very difficult for most of us to be able to get all those good healthy vitamins and minerals in without some sort of supplementation. The best example I can give you as a practitioner is vitamin D. So I check vitamin D levels on my patients at least once a year as just kind of a baseline. And I will tell you that like 90% of my patients are low in vitamin D. Now, I do live in Ohio, so especially this time of the year, we're not getting as much sunlight. So that is a piece of it. But even in the summertime, I find that a lot of my patients still have low vitamin D levels. And most people need to be on some sort of vitamin D supplementation. So that's an example. And vitamin D is just good for so many things: immune support, bone and muscles, teeth, heart health, and even mental health as well. So that's just one example of a deficiency I see in most of my patients. So this is another great example of some facts on the nutrition in our food. And this is about apples. So if you see the apples on the left, those are the apples that our grandparents used to eat. They might not look quite as nice and shiny and fresh as the apples on the right, but they are way more nutritious than the apples on the right. So we are genetically modifying our foods now. We are making them so they look nice and they taste better. But the nutritional value is not near as good as it used to be. So the apples on the left have 100 times more phytonutrients, which phytonutrients are the key for overall health. So we're just seeing a huge decline. Vitamin C as well is a lot less in some of these newer versions of apples. So this is just one example of how our food is just not near as nutritious as it used to be 50 years ago. So many people, like I said, walk around with different vitamin and nutritional deficiencies. Some of the symptoms are low energy, which I hear often, daily, weekly from my patients. I don't have enough energy. Mood, of course, is a big one right now. A lot of people are just feeling depressed or anxious. Our immune systems, especially the last few years, we're seeing a decline in our immune systems. People are getting sick more often now. Joint inflammation is another common one I hear. Skin problems, nails. There are many different things that can mask vitamin and mineral deficiencies. So it's good to get tested for those kind of things. And I do recommend that most people take a high quality multivitamin just to get the basics in. And sometimes we need even more than that. Okay, so I just put together a quick top 5 nutrition tips based off kind of what I'm seeing over the last year and what I'm talking about to my patients on a daily basis. So I thought this might be helpful for you guys as well. So number 1, eat real whole foods. So let's skip the fast food, let's skip the packaged processed foods, and let's just go back to eating those foods that our grandparents used to eat, right? Trying to skip those middle aisles, going to the farmer's market, maybe even growing your own food. That's a great goal to have as well. Number 2, I see that most of my patients aren't getting enough protein. So it depends on your weight and your BMI, but on average, most people need about 25 grams per meal. So if you can kind of start thinking about how much protein you're getting in, and I really encourage a good mix of protein, different kinds of animal protein and different kinds of plant protein. They all have their pros and cons. So I think a good mix is beneficial. It also keeps you fuller longer if you get enough protein. So I oftentimes see patients that are having trouble with their weight saying they always feel hungry. And a lot of times they're just not getting enough protein in. Number 3, low carb, low sugar. So The biggest thing with carbs and sugar is that we eat the healthy carbs and sugar and not the processed carbs and sugar. So I put some examples of some healthy carbs. Sweet potatoes are one of my favorites, and this can actually prevent sugar cravings. I really like rice and quinoa as a plant-based option. Quinoa also has some protein in it, so it can be a great plant-based protein option. And then if you're having a sugar craving, go for the low sugar fruits. Like berries are one of my favorites. They're low in the glycemic index, so I love to add berries for that as well. Number 4, a lot of people are afraid of fat still, and that's because in the 80s and into the 90s, we all heard that fat was horrible for us. And it really is the kind of fat that's the most important. So there are a lot of vegetable oils that are what I call the bad fats. So we want to get more of the good fats into our system. So the good fats are things like avocado, olive oil, nuts, and trying to incorporate those. And those can be beneficial to also help us feel fuller longer as well. And they're so good for our brain, our heart, and our skin. Number 5, this is one I've been incorporating recently because of all the latest research that I've seen. And we really need more time for our bodies to digest and rest. So I really encourage my patients to not eat at least 3 hours before they go to bed, because our body needs that time to digest all the food that we had for dinner. And then that actually improves our sleep and improves our digestion the next day. And I encourage people to not eat for like 12 hours overnight, so our body can really cleanse itself, detoxify itself, and give our system a little bit of rest. We shouldn't be eating every 2 hours and all night long. So for example, if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, I encourage you to stop eating by 7. And if you're doing that 12-hour window, I would say don't eat until at least 7 a.m. So that I encourage most patients to do at least 12 hours, and some patients I encourage to do longer.
These are great tips. And that last one is my downfall. You guys might want to take a screenshot of this before I switch off of this, but these are great things to keep in mind.
Yeah, the last one is the hardest for most people. And I always tell people how I did it was I just had a glass of like warm tea, like herbal tea. And that was like my comfort food when I wanted to reach for the snack.
What else is there a healthy nighttime snack that you could recommend? Like,
I honestly feel like we need that time to rest the digestive system.
Nothing, like not even apples or fruit or anything like that.
I would say don't eat anything at least 3 hours before you go to bed.
Oh my.
But a glass of nice warm herbal tea is fantastic.
You know what I like? I like a warm cup of warm water with 2 drops of ginger and 3 drops of lemon in it. That's really good. That's kind of my night elixir.
Yeah, and that'll kick up your digestion too. Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So I'll go. So everybody needs bioavailable supplements based on what she just was saying. And I'll go into more detail about the benefits of good supplements. First of all, I have to say that not all supplements are good. 9 out of 10 don't meet the RDAs for vitamins D and E. 50% don't meet the RDAs for vitamin A, calcium, and magnesium. Most supplements are purely synthetic and they don't do your body any good. In fact, they could do it harm. But choosing a supplement is overwhelming. You're walking into a health food store and looking at this array, I just is like, oh my gosh, I just feel like turning around and walking out. Honestly, I've really never had good luck going into a health food store and just trying to buy stuff off the shelf. I really need somebody to help guide me with this. And this is why everybody likes the Lifelong Vitality Pack, because doTERRA has taken all the guesswork out of it for us. These are the 3 products in the pack: the Microplex VMZ, the Alpha CRS, and the Z Omega. And each complex blend has a specific job to do to give our bodies optimal health. And they have done all the research to make sure that everything we need is in these 3 bottles. They've got all the micronutrients that we need. The ingredients come from whole food sources, real food. And this means it has no synthetic lab-produced vitamins. It's from real plants. So your body recognizes it as food and absorbs it immediately. It's bioavailable. Because of this, it's very absorbable, and this is super important. Synthetic vitamins like one a day and Centrum are not recognized as food, and generally just they're flushed out of your body when you pee. So it's quite unique. The Lifelong Vitality, I'll be going into showing you just a little bit what is so different about Lifelong Vitality for everybody else. And I just love that doTERRA has done all the research and provides everything we need in these 3 bottles. I'm not going to do a huge deep dive into what's really inside, but I'm going to just kind of give you the surface and some things that are easy for you to remember, okay? So the Microplex VMZ, it's got 12 to 15 servings of fruits and vegetables. So all your vitamins and minerals, but imagine how you would feel if you ate 12 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. That's actually a really good diet plan to go on. So if you just focus on trying to eat 12 servings of vegetables a day, I guarantee you'll be healthier. Victoria Taylor, looks like you need to mute. The Alpha CRS, so think energy and inflammation. It has nutrients like CoQ10 that helps us to produce energy naturally. So when I say energy, it's not sugar and it's not caffeine that's in it. It helps our bodies to make energy naturally. And also super polyphenols, which are super antioxidants that are very anti-inflammatory. And they're also really good for your body at the cellular level. It also contains turmeric for inflammation. The Z Omega, XE Omega, has your omega-3s in the fish oil, which are essential for your heart and your brain to calm inflammation. This one also has 9 powerful essential oils. I'll show you which ones in a sec, but they make the omegas and the nutrients even more bioavailable. So they also help to make you happier. This one has astaxanthin, which is an algae that is very powerful, and ingredients for eye health. So a word on the fish oil, because I often get asked, where are the fish oils sourced from? They use calamari, and it's top quality calamari oil from, and they source it off the coast of Peru. And it has very high DHA content, which is the main ingredient in the omega-3s. It's very clean, very abundant, tested for over 250 contaminants. And it's also certified sustainable, friend of the sea here. These don't cause you to burp because the fish oil is not rancid. When you buy this big bottle of cheap fish oils, they are actually already rancid when you buy them because of the way that the capsules are. And that's what makes you burp. But doTERRA spent about a year figuring out, maybe even more than that, figuring out what kind of capsule they could put the fish oil in that would protect it from getting rancid. So that's why you don't burp with these. Also, there's a vegan one if you don't do fish. These are the 4 main benefits of Lifelong Vitality that I want you to remember, okay? There are many more, but these are the 4 main ones. You get less discomfort and pain, more energy. You're sick less often because it helps your immune system, and better moods. If I would put a 5th one, it would be better memory and focus. People that just start out on the Lifelong Vitality, these are things we hear back from them. In the first 2 weeks, they usually say, I have more energy. That's what happened with Carrie, and that's why Gary wanted to start on them right away. He saw such a change in her. I have less pain. I get sick less often. I'm sleeping better, less anxious, more focused. So these are the things that make Lifelong Vitality so unique. People do see results. I was taking high quality supplements before, but I couldn't tell any difference. The reason they see results is because these are made from real food, whole food. And they also contain essential oils. They're affordable, $2.65 a day, and there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So a word about the whole foods. As I said, 90% of vitamins we buy are synthetics, so they probably are not helping and could be hurting us. But so where they get the synthetic vitamins from. They're getting them from petroleum. They can be getting them from petroleum. Natural sources is from food. Now, which one would you prefer? Petroleum or tomatoes? Minerals can be obtained from mineral salts, from rocks, from shells, or they can come from food. Which would you prefer? The thing is that in 1954, they did a study to see if they could get scurvy to go away by giving them synthetic doses of vitamin C. Ascorbic acid is a part of vitamin C. And it didn't work. The people didn't get over their scurvy from just ascorbic acid. But so why are vitamin companies still putting ascorbic acid in supplements? They're cheap, right? They don't work, but they're cheap. Supplements from whole food sources are more expensive to produce, but they work. So this is the whole vitamin C complex, all right? This is only an isolate. It's one part of the whole vitamin. So your body looks at it and says, what is that? And then it rejects it and you pee it out. So that's what we want to avoid. We want the whole thing, and that's what you're getting in Lifelong Vitality. These are the essential oils that are in Lifelong Vitality. Frankincense, of course, this is one of the ones Mark wanted to get because he had lots of family members that had issues, and he wanted to make sure that he didn't have those issues. But I looked up all these, and they're all really good for your moods, and they're really good for your immune system. And many of these are also good for your digestive support too. So that's why they say there's a tummy tamer blend in Lifelong Vitality, because of the essential oils that are in it help us our tummies not to object. All right, affordable. As I said, the whole food supplements are more expensive, but this is actually kind of a lost leader for doTERRA at the price point of $80.50. My chiropractor couldn't believe they're selling this product that's loaded with expensive ingredients like CoQ10 at this price. I mean, I was buying CoQ10 for $80 for one bottle, and that's just one ingredient in this whole thing. So the whole food supplements he was selling and I was using from another company were much more expensive. And so he switched. And since then, I've met many other chiropractors who used to sell a different whole food brand of supplements who switched to doTERRA because they could save their patients a lot of money. $2.65 a day, less than Starbucks. So this is investing in your health. This is, if you went out and bought all the food that takes up to make up the Lifelong Vitality, this is how much it would cost you. So yeah, that's crazy, right? $1,345. Okay. So the guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee, purchase doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Pack via the Loyalty Rewards Program, used for 30 days. If you are not satisfied with the results, return your product for a full refund. My chiropractor was also very impressed with that. He said, nobody's doing that. So usage tips. So the dosage, you take 2 out of each bottle in the morning and then 2 out of each bottle in the afternoon or evening. It's recommended to take them with food. There is an expiration date on the package, so do pay attention to that when you're talking about supplements. As far as storing them, it's best to store them in a cool, dark, dry place. So if you can't store them in a cool, dark, dry place, then store them in the refrigerator, especially the Z Omega, the fish oils. Those are ones that you don't want those to be rancid. So you might, if your house is hot, put those in the fridge. For children, you can use them if they're 8 and older. We also have children's vitamins for those that are younger than 8. And I do recommend, if you're just starting on this, tell your doctor about it or ask them about it. They will probably say it's okay. Their Lifelong Vitality is kind of famous now. So let them know and let them share in your journey when you're taking these. It's awesome. All right. So when you buy the Lifelong Vitality, you also can add on up to 3 other supplements for a very reduced price, like $25 each. For instance, see here, these are the kids supplements. The IQ Mega and the A to Z, they only cost $25 when you add them onto your Lifelong Vitality order. Kelly, did you want to say something about these? You're using them with your little girl?
Yes, I have a 3-year-old daughter and she uses both of these, and she like gets so excited when I tell her we're gonna take our supplements. She chews up the A to Z really quickly. She loves that. And then the IQ Mega, it has like a slightly orange flavor. I actually mix that with her elderberry. So she takes
Oh, that's a good
elderberry
idea.
for immune support. And so we mix those together and she loves them. She's also a huge fan of the PB Assist for kids. She thinks it's like the best thing ever too.
Yes, that's a special treat. Our 3-year-old grandson begs for these A to Zs. He begs for them. And he also likes the chewable On Guard things and the PB Assist things. Yes. All right, so Kelly's gonna, now the other part of the bottom rung there is nutrition and digestion. So now Kelly's gonna tell you about the digestion assist that doTERRA has.
Yeah, so gut health. Most people don't realize that gut health is really the key to overall health. And it plays into so many things. It's one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle, and often a place where I start with my patients that are chronically ill. So our gut health, we all know it. Our digestion is one piece of that, but our immune system actually lives in our gut. So about 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So if your gut's not healthy, then you're not healthy. So most of us have gut issues. You may not even realize it, but because of our diet and several other things we're going to talk about, our guts are generally not healthy as Americans. So I'm oftentimes working with my patients to help restore their gut. So what's damaging our guts? Our diet is number one, right? So all those processed packaged foods, a lot of them are full of fertilizers, herbicides, fungicides. That's all playing into our overall health. Overuse of antibiotics. So if you've been on a lot of antibiotics in your lifetime, usually you're going to have some sort of gut issue. So something to think about as well. Lack of exercise, poor sleep, stress is a big one. A lot of patients that I see that are really stressed, have chronic stress, have gut issues. The other one is birth control pills. So this is something I learned in the last couple years, but if you were on birth control pills like I was for like 15 years, it really damaged my gut. So it really causes a lack of B vitamins. It can lead to things like IBS. So all things to think about. Of course, birth control pills have pros and cons. So I'm not saying never use them, but just make an educated decision on that. You may need to supplement with some other vitamins if you are on birth control. So the other piece of this that most people don't realize with your gut also is mental health. So we're seeing a lot of research come out about the gut-brain axis and how if our guts are unhealthy, we can have more depression, more anxiety, and a lot of the serotonin is actually produced in the gut as well. So if your gut's not healthy, it can really affect your mental health as well. So many reasons to really work on your overall gut health. So how can we fix our gut? So there's many things that we can do. Of course, diet is one, but there's some great products that doTERRA has that I've used to help my gut as well. So number one is enzymes. So digestive enzymes help us break down our food. So we need enzymes to break down protein, to break down sugar, and to break down fat. As we age, we lose digestive enzymes. So that's one thing that kind of happens. And when we eat the processed packaged fast foods, we also need more enzymes. So digestive enzymes are a great way to help heal your gut. If you're somebody that's really suffering from a lot of bloating, gas, cramping, reflux, you probably would benefit from taking an enzyme. So doTERRA's enzyme is called Terrazyme. It's fantastic. It's a high quality enzyme, and it really helps to promote gastrointestinal health. It helps with all those symptoms I was talking about. It's great to take with each meal. I really encourage it, especially if you're eating those foods where you're on vacation or something, or you go out for pizza one night, to even make sure you're taking that with you to really help break down some of those more processed packaged foods. The next product that doTERRA has that's really good to support your gut health is PB Assist, which is a pre and probiotic. Most people that have gut issues, I put on a good quality probiotic, and doTERRA has a great one. Like I said, it has prebiotics and probiotics. That's a great combination. And it's well tolerated by most people. It helps build that immune system up. It helps build the gut, helps with the mood. And it can make it all the way down into the intestines, where a lot of probiotics actually get killed in the stomach because it's such a high acidic area. This probiotic can actually make it down to where it needs to be to restore all those healthy bacteria. So what happens when we take like antibiotics and we have an unhealthy diet is our gut flora is not healthy. We don't have those good healthy bacteria. We don't have a good microbiome is kind of the word that they're using now. And when your microbiome isn't good, then usually your health isn't good, and it can play into all those things that we just talked about. So I generally recommend a probiotic for anyone that's dealing with any kind of gut issues or immune system issues. And especially for people that just have taken antibiotics, it's a great idea to get on a probiotic after that as well. A couple other great products that doTERRA has. The first one is fibers. This is the powder that you can add to water or throw in a smoothie. So I recommend fiber to people that aren't having good quality bowel movements. So if you don't know, you should have at least one nice, solid, soft bowel movement per day. If you're not, you probably need more fiber in your diet, usually 25 grams of fiber. It's also important for colon health, so to help prevent colon cancer. It's also important for like cholesterol. So it's really important to make sure you get enough fiber in. So this is an easy way to do it. I'm going to skip over to the greens next. This product is great if you do not like to eat your greens. So it's a fantastic way to just get those extra greens in. You can add it to water. You can throw it in a smoothie. It actually tastes really good. It's easy to take. So if you're someone that just can't eat the greens, this is a great product for you. And the one in the middle, I love, I use it in my smoothies. It's the protein. So doTERRA actually has 3 different kinds of protein powders. They have 2 that are whey and one that's plant-based. It's like a pea protein mix. My personal favorite is the vanilla whey protein. I like that one the best, but I have used them all and they all work great. I think there's 21 grams of protein in 1 scoop of the protein powder. So I just throw that into my smoothie. So that's a great way to get that extra protein. If you're someone that's suffering from lack of protein, you can put it, you can use it as a meal replacement or as a snack.
Yes, Mark and I love these. So this is what I was talking about in our smoothies. But doTERRA came out with these powders for our smoothies like 2 years ago. And yeah, we've been using them ever since. We love the taste and we love the convenience. And we know how clean the ingredients are in these. So, and I love being able to shop in our own store for them. So yeah, they have 25 grams of fiber. He's getting his 25 grams of fiber a day from, there's fiber in both of these 2. So here, I'll show you what we do every day. So this is what Mark and I put in our smoothies almost every day. We have, the milk varies. So sometimes we use almond milk, sometimes we use coconut milk or oat milk, but we put them in this little blender and then we put in the fiber, the chia seeds, and the protein. By the way, we found that if you put the chia seeds in your coffee grinder and grind them up, it makes it more smooth. If you object to the little seeds, I mean, we've been using chia seeds as they are, but it just makes it smoother that way. Sometimes we put the greens in, but we eat a lot of greens in our day. And so this is a way, honestly, if we have this and we eat this and have this about 10 o'clock, that's all we really need for several hours. It really takes care of our hunger. And now also, if you're wanting more of this kind of recipes for using with the fiber and with the protein, in the Facebook group Team Healthy Essential, there's going to be a recipe every day. So these are just a sample of some of them. You can take a screenshot here, or you can just go to Team Healthy Essentials.
I just wanted to jump in and piggyback on this and say it is. I'm so excited that you worked this into the class tonight, because that's something I'm really excited for you all to be checking the Facebook group every single day. And it's actually Team Healthy Essentials with an S on the end. So make sure you're a part of that. If you're not part of Team Healthy Essentials, request to join, because that's our whole big, like, that's like the mothership Facebook group. And then a lot of your team leaders have their own individual Facebook groups, but we're going to be doing every single day, dropping a fun recipe at around 10 a.m. And we want you to be able to collect all those and have some fun recipes to use all these nutritionals.
Yay.
And we want to hear from you all. So everybody can share your own fun recipes too.
And here's Kelly's favorite smoothie right here.
Yeah, I make this smoothie like 3 or 4 days a week. It's become my favorite one, my go-to. I do 1 cup of fruit, usually mixed berries, either frozen or fresh, depending on what I have. A half of avocado to get that quality good fat in there. Like a 2 inches of cucumber, 1 cup of greens. These greens, spinach or the power greens, you don't even taste them. So that's why I like to throw those in. I liked unsweetened coconut milk because it's a little bit thicker and I like the thickness of the coconut milk. And then I do a scoop of the doTERRA protein powder. Depends on which one I have. Like I said, vanilla is probably my favorite, but I mix it up.
Yeah, we usually like the vanilla too, but I didn't say, but there is a vegan protein also that's not whey. If you are a vegan, there we got you covered there too. All right, so now I also asked in our Facebook group for people to share healthy recipes, and Ann Harrison shared this one. Dark chocolate chia pudding. Take a screenshot of this. This I'm going to be trying immediately. Chia seeds, your milk of choice, cocoa powder, sweetener, vanilla, whisk them all together and until it begins to thicken, and then transfer it to jars and store in the refrigerator. So this, you can double this if you want more to just reach in and get. But this is a healthy snack, dessert. All right. Just a word about the MetaPower. This is a product with macronutrients. The LLV and all the products we've been talking about are micronutrients, but this has got the collagen, and we're not really talking about this at this class tonight, but it is a cutting edge product for our metabolic health. I'm just giving it a mention in this class since we've been hearing so much about it recently. But I just listened to a podcast by Dr. Riggs, and he said not to think of this as a weight loss product, but as an anti-aging product. He said it's vitally essential to take it every day with your lifelong vitality, this advantage. So just putting that in there so to remind you of that. All right, now this is the last slide. I want you to actually think about 3 things that you've learned from this class that you want to commit to doing to improve your nutrition. Just 3, start with 3. Write those 3 things down, and then write down when you're going to start. You're going to start tomorrow. You're going to start Monday after you go to the store. When are you going to start? And I'm not talking about weight loss. I'm not talking that, although you may have other goals. That might be one of your goals, but I'm just talking about giving you health for life.